Man, that's a foul.
Oh, yeah, baby. So, here we are, episode 3 of Dudes in White Pants, take like 57. I'm going to blame that on operator error, me being the operator. I'm Chad.
I'm Greg.
I'm Eli.
Eli down here as a special guest. Always welcome in the Packer household. We have our Ohio Water Polo Referees Association meeting today, so Eli's jumping in on the conversation. We'll offer the same caveat that we always do. Water polo is a really difficult game to watch. Ideally, we would be watching our own games, so we could be, critical and not fear that referees are thinking, "Oh, those guys are a bunch of jerks." Listen, if you're one of the referees on these games, we know JOs is difficult. We know that whole week is difficult. We are not doing this to be critical of the referees. We're really doing this to grow as referees, especially when we ain't reffing any water polo games. So, Greg, do you have anything before we begin?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Here we go. All right. Like I said, we've seen this start. We literally have seen this start at least 8 times now because I keep goofing up the audio. But so I annotate these games using a program where we can zoom in and kind of watch calls and things like that. One thing that I love about this referee on the near side is his movement is just impeccable. See how he's just moving. He's not going down there and just standing. Now he just fixed his angle because he knows that pass might come in. So. If you're a referee and you're watching, take a look at what this guy does. I think he referees a really, really good game. So Eli, on one of the takes that I've failed to record correctly, you were mentioning, movement. What are you looking at when you're like? How are you basing your movement, depth of the pool, and things like that?
Yeah, I think typically, as a front court referee, I'm adjusting my position based on the position of the 2-meter offense.
Sure.
And trying hard to anticipate that shot coming in so I can get down on the goal line. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I don't have to. I just want to call attention to this. Watch how this referee, he's going to drop deep, and then as the counter moves away, he's just going to stand and watch it move away from him. Love that. That's a move that I've really tried to work on. I think that's a move when you see newer referees. They want to just jump up the pool and move with the counter. All right, let's go to the other end. And this referee just stood and let the counterattack get away from him a little bit so he could see that angle. That's another big movement thing that I think we should all continue to work on is to let that counter get away from you. That's something I've been coached on. You know what I mean? Like when you watch those newer refs, that's what they're going to do. Greg, how are you positioning yourself in the backcourt?
It's pretty variable now.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm trying to stay back, so I know it gives me a much better view.
Mm-hmm.
Other times I'm trying to come down to help my partner.
Mm-hmm.
I know now if I'm coming down to help my partner, if there's a lot of action down low, and after that's done, I'm trying to get back because I don't want to miss that counter.
Sure.
And I want to get a better view of the whole pool. I don't want to get too focused on one play for too long a period of time.
So yeah, look at that. He's moving up. Get the angle in here. He's moving back down. That's good stuff. Like those are the things that I like to, when you're getting ready to go on a game and you're watching your partner with whom you're going to be working for the day. You just kind of watch those things. They're not tells necessarily, but they kind of give you a sense of how this referee is going to whistle and call the game and upon what is he going to be watching. So I had an interesting thing at the 2019 JOs I was refereeing, and one of the evaluators said to pause. Here comes something cool. So whistles exclusion there. What do you guys think about that?
I always watch for head position on these to see where each person's head is to decisions. And it's hard to tell because the offensive head is underwater.
Sure.
So whose head is it? When he comes up, it's a head,
Sure.
but maybe they're about even when the guy kind of ducks under. And
I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about head position again, because I think the video cut out. So you said you really focus on head position.
yeah. So on the ball side drive, if there's a sink, if I'm going to call a penalty versus exclusion, I'm looking.
So
Is the offensive player ahead?
So this is ball side drive.
Oh yeah.
It is between the posts. It is inside 5. It's a pretty good pass.
Almost all criteria is met for a penalty. He's holding the ball. All right. At the point at which he lets go, where was his head?
Yeah.
It was hard to tell because it was underwater.
Sure. Is that so?
Know.
That's a thing for you? Head underwater?
If he puts his own head underwater, yeah. On this one, you could probably legitimately say he was sank, and that's why his head was under.
What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, I agree with what Greg's saying. He's at that point, the guy's got one arm up, so where's the other arm?
Sure.
And the guy's underwater. The offense guy's underwater.
So this is one where clearly the referee saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it would be fun to ask him why were you thinking that? Say it again. I've said it on the previous 2 episodes. If this white coach down here comes to me at the quarter and says, "Hey, what else does my guy need there to get a penalty?" What else would you say? You could say head underwater, right? You could say I didn't feel like it was a scoring opportunity. Don't know what else. Again, we have the value of this. It's early in the game. I think we've talked about this before, Greg, about setting a tone. So I don't want to belabor the point, but clearly the referee saw a pullback or a foul from behind because he whistled exclusion.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's penalty.
Yeah, I agree. It's penalty.
Yeah. If we were NFL referees, we would have
Sure.
had an official
Sure.
review and probably reversed it. Yeah.
And I will tell you, I've watched this game at least 10 times now. Referee has an amazing game, does everything right. That's probably, I'm assuming that would be in that range of acceptable calls or the rack that we hear. But
And we didn't pick up any audio of the coach screaming, "Where's my penalty? Where's my..."
sure,
That
No.
was
sure.
close.
Now, as always, right, they score the 6-on-5 on the previous one, so you're, okay. I mean, even
Yeah.
if you want, that is, as a referee, that is one of those where you're just like, okay. I mean, it's a personal foul, right? You get a chance to assess a personal foul against that player, and they score. That helps me put that in a box and put it on the shelf. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
As we've heard.
I heard you say too, it's early in the game. What does that mean? Sometimes I think early in the game for me, it's harder to get into a game. It's harder to call a penalty earlier just because, wow, all of a sudden they're going at it and this guy has ball side position. Calling a penalty early in the game, it might be a little bit harder. Once you've seen the physicality of the game and how things are going, you see that maybe the offense is based on doing ball side drives. It becomes easier to watch for
Sure.
things and see it faster and maybe make that penalty go.
Sure.
Wonder if this is the first game of the day at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I think something that we watched the game yesterday when you came down and watched the game from you at JO's, and your partner whistled, a lot of ordinary fouls real quick, and the players, I wouldn't say they didn't have to work for it, but it was a tweet, like yeah, I'm here. I have a tendency to, when I'm familiar with the teams, to maybe let the game play out because I know the physicality level. That's always a challenge that the 3 of us have talked about at JO's. It's fun to go out and referee teams you've never seen before because your adaptation to the game has got to be, right now. Like I can tell you after watching this game several times, this dark team, they run 2-1 picks or 21 picks, whatever it's called, left flat, left wing picks, off the ball, doesn't matter. They're just always running that down.
Mm-hmm.
So as that backcourt official, I would be aware of that and know to whistle it. Doing a lot of talking.
Yeah. Well, like you said, going out and ref from JOs, you see a lot of teams you've never seen before. It's so much easier, maybe not easier, but, when you get used to calling the same teams, you can anticipate a lot easier. I think it makes you a more rounded, referee when you can go out and ref teams you don't normally ref.
Sure. We watched this last weekend when you were down here. We were doing that NCAA clinic. That this player is oddly out of position for Dark on defense because he thinks he gets excluded right here. No, he's swimming. He swims out of bounds.
Yeah.
And this guy's wide open, and he turns and looks like, what am I?
That's when maybe that should have been an
Yeah,
exclusion.
you will start thinking, maybe I missed that one.
I missed that.
It's kind of funny. Again, Greg, in that game we were watching yesterday, and I don't mean to keep harping on it, but it's in my memory bank. There are a lot of these games where you see that pullback off the ball, and you wonder how this is. I push his mechanics there are fantastic because they don't have radios.
Yeah.
He's whistling to his partner. He's motioning to his partner here. Hey, stay back, stay back. And I put that square on there to show that as the players move up the pool. I mean, these guys are working so well together right now as far as pool coverage goes. I just think that's commendable. So you got a hand down. Hand down there. Let's see the game here. Get on arrows just to note the players coming up. So he's ahead. Hand down. No call. If you're that front court referee, what do you?
I like an exclusion there. I mean, he's behind the whole time.
Sure.
He's out, and he's outside 5 meters. I think gotta be some exclusion there.
Greg?
Yeah, I'd call an exclusion.
We would all agree, and Greg, I've heard you say this before, I like this phrase, you at least give him the ball back. I don't know that he lost the ball because of anything that he did. I think I might even know there's a drop defense here. Yeah, I remember putting that up there. As a referee, that's just an indicator of what, I mean, if that ball gets to that left side or the 1-2 side, it's probably not coming into the center. So that means a shot is probably coming. So look at where that referee's positioned.
Yep.
It's so good. He knows, I think he probably knows that if it comes in, it's probably going to get stolen or it's going to be a goal. So I'm going to hang down there. Far side. Good whistle. Yeah. Whose call is that, I wonder? It doesn't matter. They both blow it. I'm not being critical of that. But I think, Greg, you and I maybe disagreed on. We talked about this last week when we watched this game, I think. Maybe the three of us, we talked about whose that is.
I think we all disagreed.
We did, that's right.
It looks like that backcourt referee was coming down to take it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if they had headsets on, that the backcourt would have said, "Hey, I've got this."
For
Yeah.
sure.
It's why headsets, and they have just changed everything. They do both call it.
I think the backcourt referee took a second to call it, so the front court thought maybe he's not calling it, and then
Sure.
you had the mess of whistles.
Yeah. Again, that's an odd position in the pool.
Well, and it's, like we were talking earlier about going out and doing JOs, these guys, we don't know where these guys are from.
Right.
So this may be their first game ever reffing again.
Sure.
So that, something we talked about last week about, really should talk about your pregame prep.
Uh-huh.
Something that would be something you would cover there.
That's a good no call.
Looked like Blue put himself under the water.
So, you get to the end of the first quarter there, and I'm feeling pretty good with my partner. I'm going over and saying, I like our coverage.
Yeah.
One team's running more counterattacks. White was running more counterattack. Black, when Black sets up 1-2 side, just watch the drives over there. Kind of be aware of it.
It's a good ball drop. I think he went to the Oprah ball drop certification clinic. There's not very many people that are certified in it.
I'm not.
Eli,
you still refuse to give me my certification.
Eli won't take the test. If Eli and I do a game, I have to drop the ball every time.
Oh, now he's getting ahead.
Yeah.
He does this a couple of times this quarter, I remember. He gets an exclusion correctly. gets an exclusion, but it is weird when you're on that side also. I hope I don't ref differently with, see a ref hanging back, watching them get away from him, that's good. We're on that coach's side sometimes. That coach is good, he's coaching his players, not yelling at the refs. That always, I hope coaches understand that. I'm sure they do. I know they're always working for calls, but man, getting chirped at, it doesn't make things easier. I don't know.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Isn't it an interesting play? They know that White
Oh.
wants to come in ball side for
I
us.
remember this last week. I was convinced, and I was going to go back and edit the video. I totally put the square on the wrong guys. Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are like, I don't even think that's the guy that got excluded. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I thought it happens here. You'll see a swim over here. And you're like, nah, it's the hold right here. I'm going, no way. Yeah, it is. So the square's on the wrong guy. It's this pair right here. Oh, it's so funny.
It was funny.
I've seen this tactic a lot now, where the player holds and quickly gets on their back and puts their hand up. Like, it's almost as if you can just predict, oh, that guy must have just held because he just rolled onto his back and put his hand up.
So you guys, we watched this last week. This guy right here is going to get, there's going to be something here at the center I want to talk about on a rebound. And we had talked about this last week. So. Exclusion.
I like the exclusion.
Yeah, I'd say I like the exclusion too.
I don't think it's a probable goal. It looks like it's too far away. It's definitely an over-aggressive foul. 2 hands.
But and
No place for that in the game.
like you said, I think we said last week too, is even if the player doesn't foul that guy, the goalie's got a really good play on that ball. Even if he's got both hands up, the goalie's got probably a much better play on that ball than the offensive player.
We would say that this matches at the other end with this referee. Remember, he whistled the exclusion at the other end, so maybe a little more likely to whistle exclusions rather than penalties. I don't know that one has anything to do with the other, but they, as coaches, right? We hear coach say we just want that consistency. Little bit different in that he wasn't beat on a drive, but he was certainly out of position, and he certainly sunk him.
Yeah.
I think, like the other one, the range of acceptable calls would allow a penalty there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, what makes me think it might have been a penalty is that the goalie throws it away.
True.
And if he thought that he was going to be able to control it, he would have just controlled it. So maybe, but it all happened extremely fast. When the first time I saw it, I thought, okay, exclusion. After watching it 16, 17 times, I thought maybe I could nitpick a penalty, maybe.
For sure.
We called the home office down in Huntington Beach and had them look at it during the game, and maybe we could have reversed it.
Joe, I think that's where Joe Torre is for the J. That exclusion at center there, we can't see it, but untangling. Good control of the game. Is this what your pool looked like in high school, Greg? Something similar?
No. We practiced in a small diving tank. A couple years after I left, they turned it into a 35-meter pool. Something crazy. Most of the pools I played in were 50 meters.
Like that, just this, right?
50 by 25, yeah.
I don't know that we see, it's exclusion here, but or contra, I mean. Yeah. It's hard with the thing there, but yeah, good call. Again, control that physicality.
Talking about pools, and I used to referee at this pool in Wrigley, California. It was like 20 yards.
Oof.
And then there was these tiny sidelines, so the parents were like slapping you on the back and stuff. I actually liked it. It was because you didn't actually have to move. We talk about position with referees. I didn't have to position anywhere. Like they took 2 strokes and they were down the pool.
Exclusion on the drive. What do you think?
I'll take it.
Who initiates this? Contact, dark or white? I wonder.
Well, like you, I think we watched this last week. I think he's not even driving. He was looking to set a pit.
He was trying to set that.
And I note the position of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That factors in when I whistle it. And ball. Oh. Generally, players know when they've done something. It'd be fun to ask this dark player, "Hey, did you just draw an exclusion there?" Because I think offensive players know it too.
Yeah.
We can't continue to say this enough. I want to keep doing these things because I think if somebody else were doing this, I would get better listening to the conversation. Not that we're elevating the conversation, but we are having the conversation. Very, very easy to sit here with this camera angle in the comfort of the Dudes in White Pants studio. But you just to break down those exclusions and watch them over and over and over again. There has been a balance of dark exclusion, white exclusion.
Yeah.
Game is
interesting right there.
The game is not overly physical. The steal?
Yeah. I don't know that the defense did anything so great that they shouldn't just call an ordinary and let White keep it, but
Where is it?
here it comes.
Right here.
The next pass.
Yeah. Maybe the referee thought White came down and got the position he had illegitimately, so he let Blue be a little physical and take it back.
Yeah.
Because right here he kind of gives him a push, like
Mm-hmm.
instead of calling the turnover, he just lets the steal happen.
Interesting.
Less whistles.
Well, we've heard it said before, right? Just whistle your game. And if you're going to allow that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. Try and stay consistent. I will say this game, again, not giving away the ending.
Don't do it.
Love this. He gets the coveted
Oh, we got a thumbs
Dudes
up?
in White Pants thumbs up. Love everything about that. So put this on review for our referees. You see the bar down. I even think I threw the whistles on there. So big celebration, this referee. I mean, come on. He even gives a little lean, like, yeah. What I like, again, coveted thumbs up. Congratulations. There's a whistle. There's the anticipation. There's the walk. And then there's the stay. Stay does a couple of things. One, it allows them to get away. But two, it also says to the coach, I'm pointing with my hand at the TV. Don't do that, Jeff. The coach at this end, hey, I'm here, you know. And what can that coach yell? That was in.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're at 4 meters, gosh, how do you defend that? So,
And he wasn't running back. He just kind of had a nice little
yeah,
slow cadence.
Yeah,
Great.
and then just
Cool
a
as
nice
can be.
little, nice look in right there.
good stuff. Love seeing that with referees. Again, you can, well, I learned this earlier, right? Control the controllables. Ball's out of the pool, make sure his caps are tied, make sure the clocks are working, your positioning, all that stuff you can control. And, Joe Torre can't stop the game or buzz in if you're at an SEC football game. Can't buzz in and say, hey, we're going to look at that again. Nope. They're following my whacked out analogy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is to say, again, exclusions, yeah, we can pause, go back, ordinaries, non-ordinaries, no calls. We can do all that for days. These referees are in the position to determine the foul. And that's step one. So, love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Rifle is an interesting sport. The referees have a lot to do with the game. A lot of whistles. A lot of fast play. The best referees make it look like they don't have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great shot.
I heard, hey, hey, hey!
Mm-hmm.
We don't have an angle at all to see that.
Yeah, that's all right. All right. So that
Yeah.
good back here.
We kind of have the coach's angle where it looks like, oh, I got ball side position, I got the ball, I let go of it, I put it in front of it, where's my call? Maybe it just squirted away.
Coveted. Thumbs up. Great patience.
Mm-hmm.
Called tip on that. I like, we talked about this before. Craig, had the discussion about, should the referee pull the ball out? I love, I even highlighted it. Love that he pulls the ball out here. That ball was in the water for quite a while.
Yeah.
Maybe this player sees the ball in front of the goalie and he thinks, I got to get back. The simplicity of pulling the ball out, you can guarantee 100%. You can guarantee 100% that you've given the opportunity for the players to understand 100%.
Yeah.
I
like it.
We
I like
watched
it.
this play a number of times, and we picked up that there probably wasn't a tip, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we watched a game I did yesterday, and I called no tip when there was a tip, and so I'm like, it's hard.
It is.
Especially for the front court referee, because they don't have an angle. You can't really see the ball
Yeah.
changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if the backcourt referee is watching the shot, because maybe no one else is doing anything, and they don't have to watch the other 6 pairs, they can help. Really one where it just got mixed up, and you didn't hear anyone yelling. No one was yelling, oh, that's not a tip.
Yeah.
Even the goalie didn't say anything.
This is it. Hey, that's dope. That's a good picture.
Mm-hmm.
Hand a little bit. No whistle when the ball gets knocked out. The
Yep.
whistle is there. I think that's it.
He's saying he used his left arm to push him out of the way to steal
Yeah.
it. I know when we talked about this before, it was like, that is such a good athletic move. He dominated that guy so much. Just let him take
Yeah.
the ball.
Absolutely.
I agree. That's an ordinary. I mean, maybe again, he gets the ball back, but I think we talked about does this mess with the flow of the game? Not really. But these are those things where if you're the dark coach, the more ordinaries that go against you, they start to tally a little bit. Like Greg, you told that story, and I might even sit on here where the coach, yelled down the pool, in the first quarter, you called that, It's the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And two, on that ordinary foul, I think that the referee was trying to watch the ball side drive.
Yeah.
And the 2 guys that were coming into center, they were going at it pretty decently. I mean, you could have even called a offensive on the white player.
Sure.
But this referee's down here trying to watch a dude at his feet.
Yeah.
And the guy in the backcourt, it's hard for him to see it because they're both facing the
Sure.
It just becomes difficult. Sometimes it's just easier to call an ordinary foul. Like, I hope this guy lets go of it so I can call an ordinary foul. So I can watch where the action really is here at center.
Yeah.
Eli, why don't you talk us through what you see here with this offensive white player? Is it ordinary foul? What do you see there?
I mean, it's the defense. He's got both hands up. If any, I don't know. I don't necessarily like an ordinary there. I almost like contra foul.
Yeah.
Because he's in the offense. Their offense is initiating all the contact.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
So-
why it's proof of the water polo gods, though. And the ball missed, right?
Yeah.
So it's either contra or no call.
Yeah.
Mike,
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah, that's how I would feel about it.
So I make note of that long whistle because he knows that player's underwater. I'd like you to point out the referee's location there. Long whistle, the player underwater. Pretty good. Not pretty good. Really good mechanics. Long whistle and look him down there. Ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, giving them that long whistle, it also gives them time to get down there as well.
Yep. Yeah, I like the long whistle there instead of the multiples. We saw that. That was the thing we were talking about yesterday. No, just that long whistle until he comes up.
Yeah.
I like that mechanic. I don't know that I consciously use that, but I'm gonna steal that from that referee for sure.
The electronic whistles, I don't have to worry about how much air I have anymore. I can blow a 20-second whistle if I need to.
I roll.
What's that? Roll emoji.
I know, I gotta hear this. You know, I haven't heard one yet.
Oh yeah, I got that. I got that upstairs. I told you. It's okay. If it's loud, Yeah, see, I'd like the referee to stay home there because
Yeah.
like when you whistle that from behind, just sneeze yourself. Oh, there's no. You could hear the black coach. Not that it matters, but the black coach makes comment to the referee. Yeah, he pulled his suit 2 times or something. I had to yell. Again, not that that matters. There's a verification piece to it, I'm sure, but you know, easy yourself from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the referee has that in his skill set. Because he did it before.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So here, all these pairs are pretty separated. There's not a lot for the referees to look at.
Remember the coach.
Yeah.
Why do we keep doing that? Or is it ball in hand, right?
Yeah.
Ball in hand. Slapped. It's gonna be interesting into the new rules. What that referee whistle there. I mean, we need to go back and watch it, but it's gonna be a thing. I do think this is a fun camera angle. There aren't too many games that are filmed from here, so it's good to. I mean, the other end, we don't get a chance to watch that last call,
Yeah.
right? But this end, we get a chance to see a lot of calls. You know. As a referee, as a guy watching the game who referees some water polo, I would say this game is moving along exactly like a water polo game should. And I think that and knocks out. It's good.
I like the sound effects.
Yeah, it's
Just
kind of
love
fun.
it.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about that, not only was that the correct no call, it matched his partner's call at the opposite end. Remember that coach just turned around and said, "Why do we keep doing this to ourselves?" Can you imagine if that referee had whistled a penalty there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's incorrectly whistled a penalty there. I mean, gosh.
Had his chance. Pump fake, bring the ball behind your head. I think that's the one we were talking about when we watched that before. Was he inside the 5? When we talk about the tough cells.
Yeah.
That was a tougher cell.
We are not disagreeing that White fouled him.
It's definitely close.
We're just talking about location stuff.
Did that guy deserve a shot? Center cage at 5 minutes. For that?
Did the defense foul him?
Yeah.
Yep.
is it equal to a penalty throw, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
It's another reason we want to have people with the ability to shoot after that foul is so they don't foul and drop and we don't make the game stagnant.
Okay.
Philosophically, that on a one-on-one thing like that too, we don't want them killing them, but I think maybe the offense probably could have broke away and grabbed them and made some sort of move.
Sure. So make the offense. Your premise is
Make them foul them harder. Isn't that a terrible thing to say? I don't know. I think really what we were talking about was why isn't the referee closer to the 5 meter line? So especially when it's right there.
I got dinged on that before. About just giving him an ordinary. I was told to give him an ordinary there.
What's the philosophy there on it?
No place to go. There's a turn. Foul from behind.
Yes.
Vertical. There's no place to go. So, give him the ball back. That's what I was told. I don't know that I 100% agree with it, but... Which is, what's so funny? I think I might have started telling a story and then something cool happened. So I shut up. But at this last JO's, one of the evaluators said to our Scott, the 16 and under lead referee or whatever, he said, Chad's positioning is really bizarre. Why is he where he is? And I picked the wrong time to start telling this story. I'm going to press pause real quick. And the point was, Scott said, probably because he's been told by so many different people where to stand, he has no idea where to stand anymore.
Right.
And I kind of don't sometimes, because you go to some places and they're like, you need to move down. And other people are like, you're way too far down. And you're going, I mean, you try your best. There's something to be said for being a product of 100 different referees, but there's something to be said for being a product of 100 different referees. So,
yeah.
All right. So we watched this last week. Again, you had mentioned before, Greg, about, we don't hear the coach carping too much. It's a grab on the shoulder, not a play on the ball, but he is holding the ball.
Yeah.
This is now a penalty for sure under the new rules, but they're not playing into that, so we don't need to go into that too much. Now, he whistles exclusion there. Can't call ball under on white. Shouldn't call ball under on white. Some referees will call ball under for white. Some referees will call that. It's really, really not what you should do. But he whistles exclusion there. We'll watch it one more time and then we'll press pause. That was a really far rewind. It's going to be here.
I didn't have a problem with penalty. He's thinking I'm just by reaching over.
He's holding the ball?
White happens to push the ball under. I think he's sinking him right there. He's sinking the ball and the person, and he was never in good position. I mean, what?
Okay.
Why would I give it back to what? Why just an exclusion? Right?
Huh. You care to opine?
That's a tough, man. It's a tough call. I have a tough time calling a penalty right there.
You like exclusion? Nobody else wants to commit.
I will. I've talked a lot today.
He's coughing out now. He doesn't want to commit on this one. This is a hard call. This is a really hard one.
It would have helped had White sunk it, realized nothing was happening, get the ball up and go the other way.
Right.
Yeah, again, under 2020 rules, a penalty, easy penalty.
Yeah.
Didn't hit the ball or hand. What do you do?
I already said I think it's a penalty because Dark was not holding the ball. White, regardless of whether they were holding the ball or not, they were sinking that player from behind within 5. I don't see why not penalty.
And Eli, you think, okay, I'm no call. Greg is penalty. You are.
What did White do
I don't know.
that was good?
I'm kind
Did
of
they do
coming
anything
around
good?
to Greg's. I'm kind of coming around to a penalty too. This is a tough call, but he's also not a penalty. 2018. At that point, but that position, he's if 7 White is not sinking the ball, what's the play at that point?
You guys are not a fan of exclusion.
I know.
No.
I don't see White doing anything that makes me think I couldn't call him. The White wants a ball under, but it's not a ball under. Well, we'll just let that go. Let's
All right, 41 minutes in, minus the introduction. We'll reach out to the national office.
White blocked it and got it back, so I guess I was wrong.
Now, I don't know about this water polo gods thing about which you keep referring. That doesn't work when it doesn't work. So
Yeah, you only mention it when it doesn't work.
it's like the golfing gods when you hit it through the trees. You're like, God's
Yeah.
love me. Trees are 90% air. I find the 10% that inside.
Atomic particles, the distance between them is like 99.9% free space, yeah. If it wasn't for the strong nuclear force, man, we could go through everything. And that's where the golf gods come in.
Out of bounds call. I think it's fascinating that we are, we're pretty good refs. I mean, given our location and the access to high-level games, that we can see that play. That referee, who's a good referee, who's in it, and the 3 of us who are at a minimum skilled referees, and we've got a referee in the game that whistles exclusion. We've got a referee sitting here that says no call, and we've got 2. It's a great call. So
Yeah.
good. That's that reach back hold.
I love it.
You knew exactly to look there. How is that player involved in the game? Is he the shooter? He's a shooter. So write that down, boys and girls.
Oh, that is just, yeah. That is
Such a good call. So good. But now we have a referee who's confident it's a penalty, and we have another referee who is, after watching it, coming around to, I think it's a penalty. I just think there's 2 related calls and 1 distinctly different call. Huh. It's fascinating.
So back to exclusion, that's just so good. These players are so skilled at pulling back and trying to make it look like they didn't pull back. I mean, that guy's basically starting on his back, pulling.
Mm-hmm.
In the motion to pull back is putting his hands up to show he's not doing it.
Yeah, backstroke.
You have to see that right when it's happening.
Yeah, it's really good.
And these referees are so good that they know where to look.
Yeah, it's really good. Double post. Seeing that more and more.
Yeah.
That's a big, like you referenced earlier, pregame talk. That's just going to be more and more important.
Mm-hmm.
The more you see it, or if you see it, gosh, at least between quarters. Love that move. The referee there. You see that center counter. These guys, they get a little tangled.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, let's go. Like, hands up, good job defense. This referee signaling, keep going, let's go, go. This coach gets upset at this player.
Why are you doing this?
Why stop?
stop?
And then, this is interesting. Exclusion at the bell. We talked about that last week.
What do we think?
I think his back is too turned for it to be anything other than exclusion. I think it's a great exclusion call, and it's sinking in body position, but I don't see him facing the goal. What do you think?
I like exclusion as well. For the same, for that same reason.
Agree.
And I think, do you also consider the fact that there's, the horns about to sound as well?
Yeah.
Does that play into it either?
So, according to Greg's water polo gods theory, who needs to win this sprint?
Yeah, on that play, I like the exclusion. Initially watching it, I just liked it because the offensive player wasn't facing a goal, but I like it even more because there wasn't any time. And if the defender didn't do anything, he didn't have enough
Time.
Probably didn't have enough time to score.
The water polo gods say that was not good.
Chad's gonna... In 2026, I'm gonna be at a game, and Chad over the headset's gonna be like, "The water polo god said you missed that one."
Oh, just busting your chops.
Then in 2028, we're gonna be sitting in the basement. He's gonna be like, "Remember 2026 when you said that one thing?" That's great.
Sorry. You're right though. When you say it when it works, you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
You should just say it when it works. Then when it doesn't work, you just say, "Dude, Chad, stop." Okay.
Here's the thing again, though, man. Like, how much better are we getting by having these conversations and watching these games? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he is really, really far out. But yeah, I mean, we just get better again. I don't know that any call that we've seen, with the exception of the one that we've been talking a lot about, all of them are range of acceptable calls. And the referees on the game would probably say, yep, I like this a little better, but I don't think there's anything that has been egregious. But yet we are better. One, we're better because we're hanging out as buddies, but two, we're better just because we're watching water polo when there ain't no water polo to be reffing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's coming up on a year. Since
Yeah.
the last time I blew a whistle.
yeah, that's what makes this fun. That's why I like doing this. Still, referee, still moving.
We really
Looking
need
at
to
his
get out there
angle
and push some buttons.
Electronic whistle, Jeff. Kudos.
Thank you. It's funny because it's true.
So, super. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of things happening. This is at the center. Dark is on offense, so watch the center. I don't know that I did a good job of marking or annotating it. If you two-hand sink. Got it. You got it. You got to step in and whistle something there. I like that referee's whistle. You can't not call anything there. Something's happening. Right here. Dark on offense. Holding. Yeah. Now that I've watched it and focused in on it, like not just focused in on it, but actually focused in on it's really good. Really good. Again, we're looking up here.
We're tangling, yeah. Now, what
The
does
white-
what does White do to try and go?
He tried to spin out. Tried. You just get something. Something has to be whistled. That's it.
Can't tell if Dark's trying to do something, White's holding him, and then it turns over, so White's like, well, my hold's going to do well now. I'm just going to go over the top.
I think from that referee's angle, I don't think he tried to. I think he tried to reverse spin out. Because that's the other thing, too. Physically, his strokes appeared to be into the water to pull himself forward, not into the water to push down.
Good point.
You know? Great angle. Referee was looking in the right place. You know, and what did we talk about earlier, right? I hadn't even thought about this till right now. There's a 1-2 pick, or a 2-1 pick right there. It's a 2-1 pick. The one was wrapping around. He was aware of it. So, I like that call. That's a good fourth quarter call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're still here, boys. I like it. Again, game doesn't appear out of balance as far as exclusions go. It's a good call. Plus, since it was up at that 2 position, that guy could go on the counter. Whoops. They got him on a couple of those.
Yeah.
I think when I edit these down, I'm looking at that total game time, and I'm thinking, I gotta keep this down to 40 because we're at least gonna go. I would tell you the average viewing time of these right now, but it's not very good. So maybe we get towards the end.
So people don't want to watch 2-year-old games that dudes in Ohio are talking about?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
I need to start watching these games. Get your average viewing time up. That's what it's all about.
Like, if you know anybody that lives in your house that plays water polo that wants to, it's a good, really good contra. It's getting gnarly right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you know anybody in your house that wants to watch more water polo, wow, that was.
Yeah.
I love a couple of things on that. I love the timing of it. The ball did not have to come in there for him to whistle that. We saw a contra earlier on White for doing that, and the ball came in and it was whistled. That was a heavy push down. Like, the timing of that. Like, I don't care where the ball is. We're not going to do that. Always nice when the ball is down at the 5 or the 1 position when you do that. So it's not creating a 1 on nobody going the other way. But
I think I wanted to.
Come out. Wider.
And progress like that. So. Now, Eli, you wear white pants. Would you like to come down and watch more games?
I would love to.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, look, there's the end.
White pants.
And look, your head isn't cut off this time, Greg.
Oh,
Right. Well, how'd we do, guys? Good?
Good. Great.
that wasn't my best game.
Wasn't your best game. I really enjoyed the discussion on that. I think that would be something that might be worth, extending out to somebody else to say, hey, what do you think about this? Meaning somebody else, maybe a higher level ref or just even more referees to say, what do you want us to whistle on that? What sort of instruction can you give us? Because that really is genuinely how we grow, is to watch those and put it in the memory bank. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the next time we see that player shoot at the 2 or the 4 position, and his defender goes, or her defender goes, we're going to watch for that backstroke hold. Why? Yeah. Because we've seen it like 4 times now hanging out here in beautiful bucolic Cincinnati, Ohio. So, enjoyed it. We're going to head off and maybe drink a beer or 2 here. But maybe we'll catch on the flippity flip, as Michael Scott would say.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Love it.
Greg, get us out of here. Jerry Springer's last words.
That's fun. Let's do it again.